Hello everyone, my name's Clancy and I play the cello, which is this instrument right here. And maybe some of you have always dreamt of writing your own song. Well, in these videos I'm going to show you how, and I'm going to create an entire pop song using nothing except this instrument, my cello. So when people traditionally think of how a cello sounds, they think of it playing beautiful melodies like this. And that is really nice. But the cello can do lots of other stuff too, as you're about to find out. So one day last year, I was sitting in the car when I noticed I was humming something, and I didn't know where it came from. So as soon as I got home, I took my cello out and I played what I had in my head. And it goes like this. And I know it doesn't sound like much right now, but somehow back then I knew it had potential. So let's start adding some stuff to it. First of all, I think it needs a beat, don't you? Do you think I can make my cello sound like a drum? Listen to this. Pretty close, right? And you hear how the second beat is always getting the emphasis? So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If you listen to almost any pop song written in the since you were born, since I was born, you'll hear this type of a beat, and it's called the backbeat. And a lot of times they'll add another little bit to it, so it goes like this. 1, 2, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 1 and 2. That might sound familiar to you from songs. So let's add that in. Okay, now let's add some more drum-like stuff. You see this thing I'm holding here? It's called a bow, and it's basically a wooden stick on one side, and this stuff on the other side is actually horsehair. And the traditional way of playing the cello is to have the horsehair pointed down and to rub it across the strings. But if I flip the bow around so that the wood is on the bottom, I can use my bow sort of like a drumstick on the strings. And it sounds like this. And along with the backbeat I just showed you, there's another rhythm that's in almost every pop song today, and it has its roots in Latin America. And it goes like this. That's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And there's something about the swing of this Latin rhythm combined with the square rhythm of the backbeat that makes people want to dance. So let's hear it all together. Okay, that's a little more interesting. Now, there's one thing I should quickly mention. Rhythm is not the same thing as beat. Beat is like the pulse. Think of heartbeat. And it just goes on and on at equal increments of time, sort of like how centimeters on a ruler measure distance. And you know how most paintings don't have a bunch of lines across them showing every centimeter or inch? The same is true of music. A lot of music doesn't have each beat being sounded. Rhythm, on the other hand, refers to the actual music you hear and when it happens. So the Latin rhythm, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, is a rhythm and not a beat, even though it can be measured in terms of beats. Now, believe it or not, I'm going to add a third element to the drum section. Once again, I'll use my bow like a drumstick, but I'll hit a different part of the string, so it sounds like this. And having a drum layer like that is very common in hip-hop. So let's hear all of that together. Okay, that sounds pretty cool, but we still have a long way to go. I think it needs a bass line. So I just showed you that I can make my cello sound like a drum. Do you think I can make it sound like an electric bass? Watch this. And did you hear how I plucked the string? That's another thing you can do on the cello. You don't always have to use the bow. So let's add that bass line I just played to our song. I like that. I think adding a bass line always just takes a song to a whole new level of coolness. So, what can we add next? How about some harmony? First of all, what is harmony? Well, it's when you have more than one note being played or sung at the same time. So if we have one Clancy playing one note at a time, there's no harmony. But if we add 3 Clancys to that, all playing different notes, now we have harmony. So harmony is a little bit like a cake with different layers, and with each bite, all the layers combine to give it its unique flavor. So let's add that harmony to our song. Amazing, isn't it, how much adding that harmony gave? And on the cello, it took 4 Clancys to make that harmony. But on a piano or a synthesizer, you might be able to play all of that on one hand. Okay, now the last thing I'll add today is just a little bit of spice, just to show when the pattern begins and ends. And that's all the time we have for today. In the next video, I'll add something else, something you wouldn't believe is possible to do on this cello. And I'll give you a hint. It has something to do with the title of these videos. But for now, let's just listen to what we have so far. And as you listen, see if you can hear the rhythm, feel the beat, and taste the flavors of the different harmonies.